Hey guys, Huzzy here, bringing you another video. So welcome back to another episode of League Discussion, the series I take your topics, or sometimes my own, and rip them apart, my own opinions and experiences, and encourage you guys to join in, this time on QT. So in the description of the video, there will be a link to a QT where you guys can join in pretty much to any conversation we talk about today, because they're going to be kind of directly related to topics. That one of them is going to be talking about the current meta and how divisive it is and why do I think it's divisive and why people love it or they hate it. And then the other one is going to be talking about other video games in relation to League of Legends. Why, like, partially of my reasoning of why I think they did this current meta change is actually an answer to some other video games, which I'll actually get in first. But again, go in the description, click that link, sign up if you haven't. If you haven't, it takes like a minute or two. Join in the conversation. Feel free to explore the website. Again, I'm a partnered person with QT. And there is always chance to win some riot points if you leave some good conversation. I think we've given hundreds of riot points out, like, throughout the time I've been with them. And we've even given some Xbox Ones or graphics cards. Like, they do some really cool giveaways. So make sure you check that out. But let's get into it. So why do I think this has happened in League of Legends? And from a game design point of view. Just to remind people, I know some people go, oh, he's saying it again. I do have a game design degree, so I can put myself in the mind of a game designer. I've spoke to a lot of game designers. I did work with Sony when they had a Cambridge office. It was called Sony Gorilla. I went in their office and I did some stuff with them with VR that I can talk about now because I had to sign an NDA for that, but that office now doesn't exist. So yeah, I've done a lot with the game design world, and I've got a lot of contact with game designers, even some within Riot. Why do I think they did the change that they did? Now, this is no meaning to offend people when I'm about to say but League of Legends has definitely taken more of a casual turn for the past couple of years, as you guys are fully aware. They've implemented more casual features, which for the grand scheme of things, when it doesn't affect gameplay, I'm not that fussed. When it gets involved with gameplay, that's where I kind of put my foot down, and that's where Dynamic Queue was very casual, and everyone was like, hell no, give us back competitive play. And that's why next season I'm not a big fan of the role thing, because it's going to put people in little boxes, and they can just play one thing, which to me is more of a casual thing. But anyway, we're not talking about that now. But I think we can all kind of agree, for the most part, League of Legends is taking a casual turn. What games have taken the world by storm recently? Well, Fortnite and a game, well now, Realm Royale. Very much games that are designed with a younger audience in mind, a more casual audience in mind. And I think LoL has definitely suffered for that. Hell, even League of Legends content creators, YouTubers and streamers have moved over to kind of catch some of us call it the kid wave, that you can ride the kid wave for income and stuff, which I'll never do. But I think it's in a reaction to this. As for a game design point of view, there was a decent amount of their player base, League of Legends player base, has probably gone over to those more casual games. And again, I'm not offending those games. They are just more casual games. Even the designers of those games have admitted that. They want to try and get those gamers back. And what is the way of getting them back? Hey guys, we're making League more casual. It's a fiesta. You can do anything you want. You can play Vlad in the bot lane if you want to. Come back. So that is kind of what I personally think they've done it, is to kind of capture people back who left for the more casual type games. I do think it's a relatively flawed logic, because it's not just the fact that it's about being casual and being hardcore or being competitive, being not competitive. So even it's a different genre game. Like, it's a shooter game, third-person shooter game, comparing to a MOBA. Like, some people will just get burnt out of game genres and it doesn't matter what you're going to do. You just lose those people. And, you know, I will say, this game, League, is a wonderful game. I love it to bits, but it is old. We're in its 10th year, I think. Like, in a game cycle, this is now an old game. It's not new. League of Legends is not the game anymore that people in high school, they go, hey, guys, let's go play this new game, League of Legends, when we go home. It's Fortnite, or it's Realm Royale. League has gone past that time. So I don't think, like, to me, they should kind of just stick to what they know and they're good at and focus on what made League of Legends great. And that isn't chaos. Season 1 sucked because it was chaos. Season 2 is where League of Legends started to getting really good because they actually kind of put a meta in place and was like, right, these are being played here, that's there. And then Season 3 was one of the pinnacle seasons where League grew the fastest because the actual, like, meta, for the most part, was kind of created mainly back then. So yeah, I think they should kind of go back to roots. So that is my overall opinion about it, but now we can actually discuss of the actual thing. So that is why I think it's happened, is to try and get some of those people back. What do I think about it itself? Okay, so you've got the two arguments, and again, I always try to be relatively neutral, and this is where you can give your opinion. Do you like it? Do you not? What would you do? You've got the two camps. I haven't met many people that are just neutral about it, so if you are one of those people, you're quite rare, and you can tell people why are you neutral, you don't really care. I've even met people that love it or absolutely hate it. And I'm in the camp that I hate it. But let's go over what I think people will like it. My reasonings of why I think people will like it is, again, one, it's more casual. Like, it's just more for fun, as it were. Like, oh god, we can do anything. The game's crazy. I know there's a lot of people that will just enjoy that. The funny thing is that there are a group of people in League of Legends who kind of put themselves, or they tried to, on like a pedestal going, you know, we're the non-meta players. We don't conform to your rules. Well, those guys are like no longer special anymore, because these were the players that played like Yasuo or bot and stuff in the past. Well, now that's just the norm. So I wonder what that group of people is like. The people that actively avoid the meta to feel different. I wonder what they feel like with everything that's going on, because anything goes in the game of League of Legends now. You've got the boosting strat with the smite in the mid lane, with like the gold funneling. You've got anything in bot lane, and maybe that's why it's divisive, because it doesn't just feel like one thing that's going on. It's a number of things. Like, I literally was in a game the other day that we had all of it happening. You had no AD carries in the bot lane. They were like the weird AP people, and like it was like a brand and a whatever in bot lane. And they had the cheese mid laner with the smite and the boosting strat. I was like, Jesus Christ. So all of it was happening. It was like, this is great, isn't it? So maybe that's why. Maybe it just feels a little bit even more on top of you, because it's like there's two things that is kind of gone a bit weird with the game. So possibly that's why. But again, so reason one is I think it's more casual, crazy. People like that too. Is that there is the argument, it's like, oh, it's variety. You know, for years we've had only AD carries in bot lane, but now hey, you can play anything. Variety. I do understand that point, and I've always said variety is something that you should strive for, but I would never, ever, ever, and the way that I see it, and this is my counter to that, I would never get rid of structure over variety. Ever. Structure to me is what keeps the game together and keeps your player base like core and wanting to play the game. So for me, the change has basically flipped it. They've got rid of structure and they're just going flat out variety, which I don't think is very good. Personally, and that's my own opinion about it, is I think they should have structure and sure, make stuff stronger, buff stuff you want it to exist. But now that crit AD carries basically can't be played because they're so weak, I do feel sorry for people that did play that stuff. Again, as you guys know, I'm not a big person for one tricks and all that type of thing, but I do feel sorry for if you were just a style of player. You were an AD carry player that played crit AD carries for the past 6 or 7 years. You're not a one trick, but that's what you've been playing. Well, now you can't. That does kind of suck. And I do see that point, because it's not like you only played one champion. You played several, and that changed all the time, so you were adapting. But it's just like, no, your whole, like, the past history of League of Legends and what made League of Legends good is now gone. Because AD carries have played a massive part in the growth of League of Legends. Like, a lot of the world's moments that are, like, fantastic, a lot of them are AD carries. You can't deny that. And now that there isn't really that fire anymore, it's like, damn. And, like, there was a quote on Reddit the other day. It's like, you know there's a problem with the meta when Faker is playing Taric and doing a boosting strategy, when Reckless has got benched for a substitute who's a top lane substitute. You know there's a problem. And that's what I'd say, is that these are the best players in the world, and one of them's doing a boosting strat, one of them's getting benched for a top lane substitute. It's like, what the hell's happened? So that's just me. The negative, and I will say we've gone over them obviously throughout, but it's like the structure thing. You know, I am a big person, as you probably guys know, is I like breaking stuff down. I like to know which team comp has the advantage from my knowledge that I've had for the past 10 years of playing, or 8 years of playing, whatever. That is now complete. All of my knowledge basically is just thrown out the window, because it's like, well, this is just random. So to me, it kind of feels like a big, like, punch in the stomach. It's like like all my knowledge, it just doesn't really matter. Sure, it matters a bit, but like not at all, like really. It's like, I don't know which team comp wins, because, you know, you don't know the power spikes and stuff in bot lane. You don't know how the supports are going to interact or counter. It's like, So I am hoping they're going to change it back. I have heard through the grapevine they are losing quite a lot of players right now. In the weird way that apparently, and again, I've heard it through the grapevine, that the current player base is playing more on average at the moment than if you went off time, but less players are actually playing, if that makes sense. So people are quitting the game or going on breaks, but the people that are staying around are playing more. So it's like, that's the point, is the people that are loving it are playing a lot of it, but there are a lot of people that are just leaving the game. So I think that's kind of dangerous, but that's just me. I predict it's probably going to get changed within the next 1 or 2 patches. And again, I do partially put down, like, why has this happened? One, I do think the balance team did intend this to happen. But like everything, your idea could be great, but the execution just isn't good. I have also heard, and you guys can let me know, that there have been people that have swapped. Like Doublelift, his opinion has swapped dramatically about it. And again, a lot of people have given him a hard time, but it's like, why? When All Random Earth came out, everybody thought it was the best game mode ever. It was like, oh my god, this is amazing, don't get rid of it. Within a week, nobody was playing it. Why? Because you get burnt out. Like, sometimes the gimmick of that thing burns out very quick. And I have had a lot of people say to me in the Twitch chat or in messages on Discord saying, yeah, I loved it at first, you know, playing Brand or whatever in bot lane. It was like, oh, damn, I can do this. And it's just worn off. It's like, I kind of want to go back to playing my AD carries now. So let me know if that's you as well. So that's the first topic, is that's the whole like meta thing that right now, and again, I'll still play the game, but I gave the quote, I've said it a couple times now, is if you take, and what you can do in the QT, you can let me know what your percentage as well is. If you have 0%, you hate the game of League of Legends. You've got 100%, you love the game of League of Legends. I'm usually probably at about an 80%. About a week ago, I was probably at about a 60%. Right now, I'm on probably about a 55% of how much I'm enjoying League. I am just, like, if you say 50% is like you just kind of like the game, I am just over that. I'm just over, I kind of like the game. That's it. And that's because just the history I have with the game. If I hadn't played this game for so long, and it wasn't my job, I promise you I'd be having a break right now, because I just don't want to really play in this meta. Like, my main account is the lowest rating it's ever been for like a couple years. Like, it's not good. So that's just my opinion on it. What we're going to talk about next does also relate to this topic, but what I want to know is, what other games are you guys playing? And again, you can put this in the QT as well. What other games are you playing? Why are you playing them? And is there a feature from that game that you would like to put in League of Legends? It's a really interesting topic to me, because it's like, good game design, I know this is going to sound crazy, but is on the back of plagiarism. That's what game design does. If you look at all the good games, you can pick apart where did they get bits and pieces from, and that the idea of an amazing game is you take the best parts from some of the best games, you get rid of the stuff that people didn't like, and then you put them in your game, and if you do it correctly, it's amazing. And that's what World of Warcraft did very, very well. Is World of Warcraft, if you look at the core of the game, took stuff from EverQuest, it took some stuff from RuneScape, like, it just took, and then boom, World of Warcraft, biggest MMO RPG there's ever been, in the Western world anyway. And it's because they did really well with taking bits that people liked. So what would you do? What are you playing right now? Personally, what am I playing? Well, it's a bit weird for me, because I doubt there's anything that we could probably take from Jurassic World. Or I actually have been playing The Sims a bit recently, because I use that game to completely de-stress. And, you know, I'm not actually playing a lot of competitive games at the moment because of how kind of stressful League is. The idea of going on another stressful game, like, you know, CSGO or something like that, would be kind of like, oh my god, boom. Like, it would be too much. But I am wanting to. Like, I have in my mind thought, like, you know, I've been very competitive in League over the years. I played in tournaments. I've won tournaments. It's like, I haven't done that in a very long time. One in League, but two another game. I used to do that in Call of Duty as well. I used to be a top raider in World of Warcraft. I have in the back of my mind been kind of thinking, you know, on the side, should I pick up another game that I could kind of start to get a bit more competitive in and try to get higher ranked in another game? I have been thinking about that, but I'm not really sure what it would be. So yeah, I don't know. Like, that would be like with you guys telling me which games you guys are playing right now. Maybe you could kind of sell to me the game you're playing. You know, I would want to get maybe okay in Overwatch, but the problem with Overwatch, like, I like first-person shooters that are very, and this is where we can actually say a link. Why I liked Call of Duty is because as an individual, you were the biggest impact in Call of Duty. I like those type of first-person shooters. I still like Battlefield, but back in my old FPS days, I like to know that if I was just very good, I could win a round basically by myself. Overwatch, the reason why I don't think I got into Overwatch that much is because it wasn't exactly true with Overwatch. If you're on a payload map, you can't do that yourself. You do need a competent team that's going to help you. So I do think that's why I didn't get fully into Overwatch. It's just because it wasn't as individual as I wanted it to be. And that is something that obviously a lot of people want in League, is that they want the individuality back. Like, let me solo carry. Let me win the game by myself, like it was in Season 3. But obviously a lot of people didn't like that in Season 3 too. The more team player people. Other games that I'm playing, well, I'm planning to play WoW again in a couple months. So what could be implemented in WoW that could be implemented in League? Again, not much different genre. I guess like the easiest way of implementing stuff is you look at other MOBAs like Smite, Heroes of the Storm, and you could potentially implement that to League. Like, a good question would be, would you guys want mounts in League of Legends? I don't think it would work, but it would look cool. It would look very cool. So I don't know. Like, it's a thing that I was thinking about, because again, if with the game design that I thought, you know, they've made it more casual, like clearly they're doing it as a reaction to the other casual games that have got popular. What other things could they take from games to kind of, as well, that maybe be a bit better? But I'm not really sure. It's a hard question. It's actually one that I'd probably need a bit of time to think about myself, but it'll be very interesting to hear what you guys think. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this discussion. Remember, QT down below. If you don't care about the riot points, or you don't want to, like, you know, use QT, that's fine. Just use the comment section. But I'll be looking at the QT a lot more, because obviously this is a partnered video with them. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, throw a like on it. Leave any more conversation topics as well in the comment section. I'll read through. I always need new topics. And I'll see you guys next time. See you.